Hello there and a very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Rundown with me Zulfick Farzan. Now let's dive into the details of something that made headlines last evening. Now a statement by MP Mujibur Rahman from the Samagi Jana Balawega has made headlines. Now in Parliament, Mujibur Rahman alleged of a conspiracy and a plot to frame him in a crime. Now he made some serious allegations against former Minister Manoj Nanakara and others in his statement to the Parliament last evening. Now he alleged that Nanakara and another individual named Aslam had visited a suspect in the Valikada prison recently, and now this suspect had been detained in prison for almost 5 years in connection to a crime. Now according to Mujibur Rahman, Nanakara and Aslam had promised this suspect a house in Colombo, financial incentives, a car and assistance in securing bail, all to implicate Mujibur Rahman in a crime and to make a false statement. Now Mujibur Rahman in Parliament emphasized that he possesses evidence of this visit in the Valikada prison and he will be filing a complaint with the Criminal Investigations Department over these incidents that he revealed in Parliament last afternoon. Now he also went on to criticize the former Minister Nanakara of extorting money from individuals who were attempting to seek overseas employment. Now he also said that after the presidential election, most of these most of these individuals who he mentioned in Parliament would have to go to prison. Now he also said that there is an attempt to frame him in a crime, and that he also recalled instances during the previous Gotabaya Rajapaksa government where investigations were carried out and there were attempts to also link his telephone number into those investigations that were pertaining to the Easter Sunday attacks. Now today is day 2 of the postal voting for the 2024 presidential election. Now on the 21st of September, almost 17 million Sri Lankans will head to the polling stations to elect their next president. Now, postal voting on day 2 will commence at 8:30 a.m. across almost 1,500 polling stations set up in the country. Now, from today and tomorrow, polling stations will be open for the Tri-Forces personnel and government institutions. Now, additionally, postal voting will also take place at the offices of the senior DIGs and DIGs, SSPs and ASPs, police stations, special task force camps, special police units and elite security divisions, enabling those eligible to cast their postal votes to exercise their franchise. Now, for those who miss postal voting, additional days have also been allocated. That's the 11th and the 12th of September. Now, according to the Election Commission, a total of 712,319 individuals are eligible to exercise their franchise in the postal ballot for the presidential election. Now today, a new alliance, a new faction is going to be formed. Now this faction will be formed in support of Ranil, the current president, and also an independent presidential candidate who is seeking a re-election into the office of the presidency. Now this alliance is going to be spearheaded by prominent MPs and ministers from the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna. Now this alliance will be led by current Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and Minister Ramesh Patirana. The Health Minister is expected to serve as the General Secretary of this new alliance that will be formed in Colombo today. Now, independent presidential candidate and current President Ranil has criticized opposition's Sajith Premadasa's political strategy, asserting that Premadasa is no longer aligned with the UNP and is even incapable of defeating another presidential candidate, Anura Kumar Dissanayake. Now, the president was speaking at a campaign rally in Yapahua last afternoon. Now, he also brought historical context in his comments of political competition in Sri Lanka, emphasizing the importance of maintaining distinctiveness and control within political parties. Now, he cited past examples of leaders such as Ajay Jayawardena, former President Bandaranaike, Mahinda Rajapaksa, who each maintained firm control over their parties while in opposition, eventually leading their parties to government. Now, he also said that Sajith Premadasa's approach has been to speak in Parliament daily, which inadvertently boosted Anura Kumara's profile. He also said that Anura Kumara poses a significant threat to Sajith Premadasa in the political campaign, who is unlikely to win as well. Now, he said that every vote for Sajith effectively supports Anura Kumara. Now, Wickramasinghe has urged UMP supporters not to vote for Premadasa and instead vote for the symbol of the gas cylinder on the 21st of September. Now, that is the symbol of independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickramasinghe. Now, at the same time, last evening, the Samagi Janabala Vegaya unveiled their economic blueprint in Colombo. Now, speaking at this event, SJB presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa emphasized the need for urgent structural reforms to address the complex and deeply rooted challenges facing Sri Lanka. Now, he said it is the SJB that has the team that is capable of bringing these reforms and bringing recovery to Sri Lanka. Here's what Sajith Premadasa had to say.
The challenges we face are complex, deeply rooted, fundamental, and they require urgent structural reforms. Real change demands the collective will of a strong majority in Parliament. There are no shortcuts. It's within this democratic framework that we can build a solid foundation, not just to address our current crises, but to safeguard the future generations to come. SJB is the only team with a clear plan. A strong team that possesses the political will to deliver the necessary reforms. And that is why today isn't just about presenting a political program. It's also showing you the blueprint for how we'll make these goals a reality. We stand firm in our integrity and we urge you, especially in the business community, to think rationally. Look at the history of politics in Sri Lanka. A team that follows a leader only driven by self-interest and extreme selfishness will never have the political will to execute the constitutional reforms and economic reforms needed to kickstart growth. It is why they cannot imagine anything beyond a measly 3% growth in the future. And we also have a team that promises system change and our parliamentary strength to back it up. And we will not be able to deliver. Because we are all aware of the manner in which consistently persistent they have obstructed the much needed fundamental reforms which would have catapulted Sri Lanka into a country would have achieved new industrialized status.
Now, another presidential candidate is Anura Kumara Dissanayake. Now, speaking at a public rally last evening, Anura Kumara Dissanayake has addressed claims and concerns regarding the party's potential victory in the upcoming presidential election. Now, Anura Kumara said that right now, what is being said on the political landscape is a certain fear-mongering about the NPP's potential victory. He went on to note that independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickramasinghe is going on saying that if the NPP wins the presidential election, there will be gas cylinders exploding and there will be a potential shortage of gas cylinders as well. Now he also went on to note that a Samaga Jana Balavegia member of parliament had also claimed that if the NPP is elected to power at the presidential election, there will be chaos in the following day. Now he reassured the public, emphasizing the NPP's commitment to stability and constitutional governance. He said, after the NPP is elected to power, they will act according to the provisions of the constitution. Now he said there's a possibility of forming a caretaker government after the NPP is elected following the presidential election, and even moving all the ministerial subjects under the purview of the new presidency, and then governing the country until a parliamentary election is called for. He even went to note that during that period, a 4-member cabinet can also be appointed as per the provisions of the constitution until a parliamentary election is called for in the country. Now he also stressed that when a parliamentary election is called for after the presidential election, for the first time in Sri Lankan history, according to Anil Kumar Desnaika, 2/3 of the members of the current parliament will never be re-elected again. He made these comments speaking at a rally organized to muster support ahead of the presidential election. Now, as we come close to the presidential election, the number of complaints are also mounting with regard to the violation of election laws. Now, according to the Election Commission, from the 31st of July until the 3rd of September, more than 2,000 complaints had been filed over the violation of election laws. Now, Transparency International, also a body that is engaged in the monitoring process, has mentioned that the providing of relief and incentives at this time to the people is in fact questionable.
Within this period, which is not too much of a time, we have received over 500 complaints and taken action, verified, taken action around 300. Others we are processing. I understand from the people's point of view, people also see the abuse of public resources, and people earnestly want to see repercussions for those who are abusing public resources. We also see public places being used to promote candidates, like grounds or buildings being dedicated for one candidate. These are the resources of the people. It's what belongs to the people being used to promote a candidate. We see the abuse of the power, the decision making. Everybody got to know through the news that the government announcing various reliefs and other benefits targeting different groups of voters. We know the decision, for example, to write off the debts of the farmers, certain subsidies and other this type of support being extended to fishermen, to the estate workers' salaries, to the public officials. We are not against people receiving any form of benefit from the state. Of course, we would welcome that, and people are in dire need. But using this time right now to announce this is you abusing that power you have, because by that you are indirectly promoting a candidate, and that is wrong, that is an abuse, and you are influencing the voter.
Well, if you just woke up and if you have witnessed over the past few days, we've been experiencing some rainfall in Colombo and suburbs and several other parts of the country. Now, the Met Department has forecasted showers and thunder showers at various times during the day in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces, as well as the districts of Gaul, Matara district, Kandy and Nuwara Elia. Now, the Met Department is also warning of potentially increased wind speeds to around 40 to 45 kilometers per hour on the western slopes of the central hills. Now, on a related note, the sun will be directly overhead at certain latitudes in Sri Lanka until the 6th of September. Now, today the sun will be directly overhead Ahungala, Nelua and Yala at approximately 12:08 p.m. Now, given that certain areas are experiencing rainfall, the Met Department is advising the general public to stay indoors when there are lightning strikes in order to avoid any damages, and also to remain hydrated in areas where the sun is going to be directly overhead. Well, that's a wrap of this edition's Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan. Until we meet again tomorrow morning, stay safe and take care.